Hello and welcome. First ever tournament report video for Orange Dragon Gaming. I played this Ultra Necrozma Malamar list at League Cup in Bay City earlier today. Pretty standard list. It's actually only 2 cards different than the last list that I showed in the video. The changes are we cut one of the Marshadow GXs, we cut one of the Viridian Forests, we added in a second Rescue Stretcher and a second Cynthia, just because you get hands full of supporters and stuff sometimes, so you need to kind of just reset your hand and see if you can't draw something different. That was what I ended up running into with the 4 Lily and the 2 Erica. Just draw a pile of cards, can't do anything with it. So we went 3-2 today. We bubbled out of top 8 with a difference of 4% in the resistance. So kind of a bummer, but it's to be expected. I mean, didn't get that tie, didn't get the 4th win. So we're left with dealing, okay, what can I do better next time, right? The list is very straightforward. It's, like I said, it's only 2 cards different than the last one. Already went over the changes. The matchups I faced today were Blacephalon round 1. Game went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But my opponent on the turn that was going to set him down to the point where he was at 3 prizes was he got Beast Energy on one Naganadel and Choice Band on the other one. And he had 2 energy apiece on them. So he was going to be able to turning point with the damage modifier for that attack, knock out my Ultra Necrozma, and then I would have to respond with either a Guzma on the Blacephalon or something else, and I couldn't make it happen. He was able to make it happen. And then a couple more turns later, if he didn't hit Guzma for game, I would have hit Guzma for game. He ended up winning. Round 2 against Metagross Ultra Necrozma. Opponent never got anything going. He laid down a Altar of the Moon, which really bailed me out in a couple situations. He Guzma'd up a Malamar. I top deck a Psychic Energy. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Psychic Energy equals -2 retreat with Altar of the Moon. So attached to the Malamar, retreated, loaded up a Necrozma before I retreated actually, and was able to take care of my opponent pretty handily in that game. Game number 3 against Blacephalon again. My opponent was not as lucky as my other opponent. He managed to whiff every single Beast Ring in his deck on the turn that it was active. And then when it came down to it, I took out his Blacephalon to go down to 2 prizes, and he was just out of steam, and he just conceded the game, which there wasn't any point in playing it out. He ran out of gas, and I was completely loaded up, ready to go. Game 4, we bricked hard against Francis with that Pika Rom deck with that 1-of Zapdos that we profiled a week or so ago. Just bricked hard. Played the hand down to 3 cards, played the Lily, drew 5 cards, drew a Lily, a Cynthia, a Viridian Forest, and a Switch. No good when you only have Jirachi Coco and 1 Inkay in play. So that did not go too well. And then round 5, I played against Zoroark with a 1-of Baby Buzz. I get nervous against that matchup. The Lycanroc can come out of basically nowhere, pick off whatever it wants to, and then has the Dangerous Rogue GX attack. I got lucky in a couple instances. My opponent came up 10 damage short of knocking out an Ultra Necrozma with the GX attack, but I had purposely made sure to limit my bench to only 3 Pokemon, so that way he would need to find DNC Prism Star if they play it, because not all of them do, and a Choice Band in order to knock me out, and he only found the Choice Band. So he ended up retreating into a Zora at the time. No, sorry, it was the Baby Buzz, and didn't do anything with it. And then I was able to dance around a little bit more, took a couple knockouts, and then the end of the game rolls around. I bench Marshadow, hit Metal Energy off of Viridian Forest, Psychic Recharge, Guzma, blow up the Zoroark for the game. And then it was everyone's favorite time when you just sit there and you're waiting for the results to come in to see where you stuck. And today we were 4% short. It's gonna happen. It's not a big deal. I got another cup tomorrow. Hopefully we can make good on the play that we did today. The biggest thing is not making misplays, which I was lucky to avoid, and I was actually able to utilize certain things in my opponents to lay down. Stadium cards, for instance. Against the second Blacephalon, I was able to utilize his Ultra Space to fitch out an Ultra Necrozma when I had no other Pokemon search. And then against the Metagross Ultra Necrozma, I was able to utilize his Alter of the Moon to shuffle around to kind of make my deck go a little quicker, so that way I could take care of business in that regard. That being said, possible changes to the deck. I was thinking at one point in time during the tournament, a Dawnwing's Necrozma GX might be really good in here. And why don't I pull it up? This version of the deck is only 2 cards different than the one I was just showing. So I cut the Tapu Koko, and then I swapped 1 Nest Ball for an Ultra Ball. So the Tapu Koko only really serves a great purpose in the mirror match, because we can use the Tapu Koko in combination with the Giratina's ability to put enough damage on Malamars and Jirachis to utilize Sky Scorching Light for late in the game. So I'm sacrificing the mirror match a bit. You can still win it. The Dawnwings actually comes in handy in that regard too. If you're able to use it to knock out a Tapu Lele using Moon's Eclipse GX, which why don't we go over that? So Dawnwings Necrozma GX, it's in the same vein as Ultra Necrozma. Psychic type with 180 HP. It's an Ultra Beast, so you get all that stuff for it. It has a nice ability that we've seen on Keldeo EX and Mindjack Zoroark from Breakthrough. Yes, I think it was Breakthrough. Once during your turn before your attack, if this is on your bench, you may switch it with your active Pokemon. Pretty solid ability. Its attacks, same cost, 3 Psychic. You do 120 damage and you're not affected by resistance. Or, if you are behind on prize cards, you get to prevent all effects of attack, including damage done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. And you swing for a very, very nice 180 damage. Now, I probably wouldn't be putting it down on the board too often. I'd more often want to copy it with Marshadow GX, especially against something like Pikarom. Pikarom takes their knockout, Marshadow GX on the bench, Psychic Recharge, Psychic Recharge, Psychic Recharge. Get in the active, one of the 6 different ways we have to do that. Go Moon's Eclipse GX, because you get to copy GX attacks too. You hit for weakness, you knock out the Pikarom. You've taken your 3 prizes. Now they have to move your Marshadow in order to do anything, which doesn't always work out that way. So that was the thought there, is that I can use the Pikarom, or the Dawnwings Necrozma, to kind of maybe help solidify certain matchups. But the more I'm thinking about it, the deck did exactly what it was supposed to do 4 out of 5 times today. With the one game, it just completely bricked, just drew all the wrong stuff, which, if I got a 80% success rate, I'm still going to be doing pretty good. Just needed to get a little luckier in round 1. But other than that, this deck seems to be able to be teched to deal with everything in the meta, depending on what you're doing. So, the one matchup that's iffiest is Blacephalon for me, personally. I think I can handle Pikarom with either version of the deck, but this is where the Dawnwings Necrozma comes back in handy against the Blacephalon. Because on the turn that you can knock them out, potentially, they should be up a prize on you right away by using Burst GX. So you can use Moon's Eclipse GX pretty quick in the game, score a cheap knockout on their Blacephalon, make yourself immune. They're going to load up with they're going to hopefully whiff their B-strings, but let's just say they hit 2 of them. They have to Guzma. And I've found very often that when you're the Blacephalon player, on the turn you're going for B-strings, you're just like, I have to draw into all my B-strings right now. This is the best way for me to try to win. So they're not, for whatever reason, it seems like you never have Guzma during that turn. So you're always going for the B-strings. Maybe you get one turn where you're just lucky you get out of it. And then you can punish them with, whatever else you happen to have set up. I think that's it for today. I think we're gonna play around with these 2 versions of the deck and see what else we can cook up. The other possibilities for tomorrow might be some form of Pikarom deck. We're definitely not doing that. That's no good. This is garbage too. So that's probably the play tomorrow, is Ultra Necrozma or Pikachu Zekrom. I mean, Clowns is good. The thing I noticed people today, or at least it seemed like against me, I never saw Alolan Muck hit the board. So I wonder if people are playing Energy Switch and Choice Band because they have those extra spots. I have to talk to the guys over at Team Taste. Three of them were playing Blacephalon today, or sorry, two of them were playing Blacephalon today. I have to talk to them real quick and see if they have anything to say about it. So, Orange Dragon Gaming, we're signing off for tonight. If you're going to Jackson, we'll see you tomorrow.